Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, and here to talk with me about episode 5 and 6 of The Traitors is Josh from Couch Potato Queens. Josh, how are you? And how have you been up to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6?
Chantel, honestly, first of all, I'm doing great. It's great to see you. It's been a while. I know it's like off season for me because I'm like big on Big Brother and stuff. So it's good to be, back in the mix of things. But The Traitors has been incredible up to this episode. It's been so much fun. It's like the game Mafia. So it's like they took the game Mafia, made it into a show. And I had heard really good things about the UK version. So I'm like, I'm totally going to watch this. But all I can say is that Brandy and Kate together just gave me life for that period of time. Like, loved them together. They were so much fun. They were an absolute mess to watch, and I loved every second of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I watch pretty much all the shows that all the celebrities are on. So I was pretty bummed when Reza went home because like I just wanted to see what he had to bring. Like he's a Leo, so he's gonna bring some like he was shining there. You know what I mean? He has a few good lines and he definitely is able to bring Brandy and Kate together. And so I wouldn't have minded seeing them last a little bit longer. And unfortunately, maybe get rid of some of the newbies. I know that they're giving the newbies a chance, and it's kind of hard with these huge personalities that are like actually being entertaining. But there's no newbies really right now that are jumping out that I'm like, oh my God, they are the next reality star.
Yeah, they were a lot of like bland newbies. It's like the newbies that they put on like Survivor Fans versus Favorites. It's like for both seasons. Maybe there was like one or two of them that you're like, wow, star, but like they're not memorable really up until this point at
I
all.
know. I almost don't remember their names. I know I remember them, but like still.
You know,
uh,
there is one that's standing out to me, which we can talk about, but I'm really liking Quentin.
but his reads are so wrong. He's just wrong.
I
He's
know,
hella wrong all the time.
but he's trying. Okay, these newbies are like not the smartest. They have no idea what's going on.
It's
They just
really
don't.
it's actually shocking because I've watched both the UK version and the Australian version, and by this time they've caught a traitor. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's already happened. So the fact that they're just being snowed, and I don't even think that they're all playing as traitors that well. Like I think Cerie's doing a pretty good job, but like I think I could suss her out. I think I'm like, she doesn't really offer that much information up. She's always just listening. She's like, like I would be like, I'm a little bit sus of Cerie because she doesn't talk as much. And like, if she was a faithful, I think Cerie would have been like yappity 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 yap. So I would think Cerie was a traitor for sure, but playing well. And Cody, I find his face goes red
Yeah.
and he looks guilty and he doesn't really seem to have a personality, which is usually how you ask when you're lying, right?
Yeah, I do like Cody. I go back and forth on him from all the times. There are days where like I couldn't stand Cody on Big Brother. There are days where I think he's very whiny. There are days where like I'm like, okay, I'd rather have Cody than ... But I don't think he's that good at being a traitor. I think that
Terrible.
he wears his heart on his sleeve. You can tell he's a traitor the first day. Rachel Riley pointed it out the first day that she knew that he was a traitor and kept it to herself. So
Well, I mean, that is the play, in my opinion. If like I knew who someone was a traitor, I wouldn't be vocal about it. I would keep it to myself and wait till the very end and get them out at the very end if I could. So I would just basically be plotting their demise and having them keep me close because if I don't think that they're a traitor, why would they get rid of me? So that's probably how I would play it. So Rachel's half playing it. I think that season 2 people that come along will be a lot savvier and like the gameplay will be like really, 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 really high.
do you know who I could totally see on a season 2? Is Tiffany.
Yeah, I can see
I
Tiffany playing
I
season 2.
I think this game screams Tiffany's name. Like I
But
think
like, isn't that too on the nose for her to be a traitor?
not to be a traitor, to be on the show, to be cast on season 2. I don't know if she'd be a traitor, but to be in next season's cast, I think this is like very Tiffany.
But I mean, I agree. But do you think like Tiffany's not really that into reality TV? Like she got hooked on Big Brother and she went on. She was very good at it, but she doesn't watch everything like most of us do. So do you think that she's interested? Like, do you think she's even watching?
I don't know if she's necessarily watching, but I think if they reach out to her and she watched a couple episodes, I think she'd be like, "This is on." That's if she doesn't go on Big Brother next season, because we know all the rumors
Oh,
about.
I haven't even been close to the rumors.
There's some sort of rumor that next season's like a fans versus favorites type thing. I don't know the truth behind it, but
I mean, they're just like allowing this show to tank. Like, I mean, they don't know how to cast it anymore. Not for this new era of like social media and like and people's opinions and like it's they yeah. They need to do something different, but it's not fans versus favorites because there's no favorites really lately, you know? Like I don't need to see anybody back again, I don't think yet. I don't. Not yet. So this episode 5, is getting away with murder, and we're coming off the heels of the most intense moment up until then was when Cody and Sari were having a little bit of a face off, and she was like, "Well, if you're not friends with Ryan, let's vote out Ryan." So, did you at that point think that Sari was going to get her way here, or did you think that she was just wanted to see how he would react, and then was like just like calling his bluff?
100% Suri was getting her way with this. She even said in the confessional, what I want to happen is gonna happen. And I definitely think producers did not want Ryan there. He's boring. Ryan was boring. What does he bring to the table? Nothing.
Says Reza.
Why was he cast? Like, why do they cast him for these things? He's literally like the most boring human alive. Like, he's so boring.
I think that he's just not strategic. So, I think that people really liked him there. I think that, he had friends and stuff like that, but he wasn't bringing anything to the strategic part of the show. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah, get rid of Ryan. Like, I want to see. Cody was so pissed. Like, I was like, yeah, let's see pissed Cody. Like, he's trying to pretend like he's Mr. Nice Guy, and he's like pissed.
But honestly, Chantele, I think, and for some deep reason here, I think Surya was thinking one step ahead, and I think she was doing this to sabotage Cody. And didn't talk about it
For
on the
sure.
show, but I think she wanted to sabotage Cody because she knows Cody is a competitor. He is someone who always makes it far in things. So maybe she was doing this. Surya's very like that, though. She thinks 5 steps ahead. I think her doing this, I think she wanted to piss him off. I think she
Well,
wanted.
yeah, I think she wanted to rattle him, right? She
Mhm.
wanted him to like be like, why is it so important that I have her, like have Ryan in the game? Like, I need to make it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal, and like I think that he is going to overcompensate, and I think she was hoping for that because she got even more than she was probably even expecting with
Oh,
this here.
yes, she did.
So everybody's coming into the kitchen. Into the breakfast. How do you like that setup? So, because you're not familiar with Traitors at all, and so this is
No.
a trope in all of the seasons.
Yeah.
That every morning after the murder, everybody comes into breakfast, and you're just like kind of waiting to see who's been murdered.
I love it. By the way, please send me the links where I can watch the UK and Australian version. Just letting you know because I want to watch more of this show. Like I'm addicted to the show. It's so good.
I
Um,
mean, I love the USA version, but the casting is quite fantastic in the UK and pretty good in Australia. So, and they're all newbies. It's not half newbies, half celebrities.
I would like all newbies way better, but I think in the US they're gonna keep doing it. If they keep doing it, it's gonna be half celebrity, half newbie, because that's how the US works.
Oh, I think that they were doing it for maybe the first season for the fact that they don't know if it's going to hit or not. It's on a streaming platform. They want people to purchase the streaming platform. And so with having celebrities there, I think it's just it's a more of a draw. So I'm hoping that, I mean, I don't mind having the celebrities there. I think that it's a different element, but I think that it's kind of a gimmick that they were using to hopefully get people to watch on the streaming site, in my opinion. Sorry, go ahead. You're
Well,
saying
we'll
something.
see. Yeah, I love the breakfast though. It's fun. It's a new way of doing it. I love watching Mafia be on television. I've always thought it was a fun game, and like this whole little twist plus our Alan Cummings as the host, like it just works perfect. It's like a puzzle being put together. I love it.
How do you like Alan as the host?
I love him. And someone said gave a Romy Michelle reference, and I'm like, Alan Cummings was in it.
I'm loving Alan Cummings as well. I believe he's Aquarius, so I'm gonna take credit for him. I love his fashion and his clothes, and he's just so dramatic. It's hilarious. He's hilarious, and he's really. I love when people are really enjoying their role, and it seems like he's enjoying his role on the Traitors. So I am just gobbling him up. He's so fun. He calls himself the friendly neighborhood eccentric with a wardrobe to die for. Which I'm like, yeah, like that's true. Um, so Kyle is the last one in, and everybody's kind of shocked that Ryan was murdered here. And you see Christian being like, oh, oh, oh. And Sari is just like, oh man, this guy looks like he's a bad actor in a movie. I think Sari is just frustrated that the people that she's working with are not nearly as good as she is. And I think that she is going to get a taste for the money and be like, I don't need these two. I can do this myself.
Yeah, it definitely is giving like foreshadowing vibes that Suri's starting to think that. But Christian, I haven't been a fan of him since day one. I think he's obnoxious. I thought he was a little cute because I do like guys with long hair, and the guy that I'm dating has long hair, kind of looks like him. But like,
Ooh, guy you're dating. Just slide that in.
I've been dating guy for like 10 months now, almost a year actually. Wait, it's been 11 months. Yeah. Yeah, okay. He's great. But he kind of looks like Christian, so like physically I'm like here for Christian, but like his personality is so awful. He's so like that douchebag bro, and I can't stand him. And I think that he is a liability to them. I think even more so than Cody. I think both of those.
Oh, I mean, I absolutely. In the beginning of the season, I was like, they are going to get rid of Christian as soon as possible, and they're just going to probably keep flipping the Traitors back, like back to back to back. Like that's what I was expecting to happen. Was that there was going to be a traitor found in Christian really early in the season. So I am surprised that it hasn't happened because the Faithfuls are really, really bad this season.
Can I ask you a question? Because this isn't going to spoil anything, but in the UK and Australia version, when they find a traitor, what happens? They just go to two traitors?
So what has happened, there's been a couple of variations, but what has definitely happened when there are still quite a few people left in the game, they have the opportunity, if they choose to, recruit a faithful and have a faithful become a traitor.
Ooh.
And so I'm not sure if there's enough people left in the game for them to do that. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone went out, if a faithful would be recruited, and then so that instead of getting the murder letter, so nobody would be murdered at night, someone would be recruited instead. That letter says the traitors are asking if you'd want to be recruited and be part of the traitors, and so they can choose yes or no if they want to. And if they say yes, they come over with their cloak on, and then the reveal of all the traitors. And so they're like, "Oh my god, thank you so much for."
I love that. That's great.
It's pretty intense. It's great.
Okay.
So that is a possibility. But there's also been a couple of little variations that they've done as well. So that's the most likely outcome.
Interesting.
So after Alan throws Ryan's picture on the ground, like he stole that gimmick from the host in the UK, actually. It's funny, but it's so mean. We see Cody sitting down talking to Kyle. And he says that on Ryan's way to the banishment before he was murdered, he named Kyle, Rachel, and Ari as was it people he was going to murder or like traitors? Like what did he say?
I think it was people he thought were the traitor. I'm pretty sure.
Like such a bad. I mean, Cody, why are you saying that?
That's so like. Also, that's not really like Cody. I know. Like
he's freaking out.
What is he doing? Like, what are you doing, Cody? I've seen you play a lot less. You can be sloppy, but not that sloppy.
Well, I think it shows that he was just set up to win some of his seasons because that is not what you do. Like the biggest bait thing to do is blame everything on the person that just left. So the person that just left told me everything. Like right before they left. Like no, they're not going to do that. Especially Ryan, who isn't strategic at all, who hasn't been naming names, who's
No.
just like a friendly guy that like is just like wants to find a secret room in a castle. Like he is not going to be like, "Oh, I think the traitors are." Like it's just so out of character what Cody was suggesting that Ryan did that I just was like, what a bad game move.
And were Cody and Kyle that close? Like, I didn't.
I think close enough. I think all the bros were kind of like, you know, broing. Bros were broing. So Kyle immediately, it seems, like gets up and like goes over, and I think he tells Stephanie that he thinks that Kyle that he's a flip flopper and that he think that he blew his cover. And I'm like, Kyle like immediately sussed out Cody. And I was like, what a bad move. Now, I wish that Kyle used this information and started to tell one-on-one some people what was actually said. I think that would have been helpful for him if he was transparent this whole time about what Cody said, and then at the round table have somebody else bring that up and being like, okay, well, we heard that you said this, Cody, and then have everybody pile on Cody. He's not good at defending himself in the round table. So
he played the situation really poorly. He did. He instead of, you're right, telling a bunch of people, then he kept the name to himself. He's like, someone did it, but I don't want to say who. And I don't know for a fact who, like, if this is legit yet. Like, it's legit. He said it to you. So I would take that information and go to Rachel Riley. I would take that information and go to Stephanie. I would take that information and go to these people. Stephanie and Rachel Riley up until this point have been big vocal names of spreading information. Huge on this.
Now, I wonder if Stephanie knows that Cirie is a traitor, but is just playing dumb.
I don't think so.
Because it would be good for her because Cirie would take her to the end and maybe steal the money.
Yeah. Well, the two of them have worked together on a lot of things. They were on Survivor. They were on Survivor Heroes versus Villains. They both went pre-jury. So they were on the pre-jury trip together. They were on Snake in the Grass. They're on this. So they have a work history. Mm-hmm. So the two of them are very close. So yeah, I don't see Cirie or Stephanie stabbing each other in the back. I don't see it happening on it. So like,
well, I mean, it has to happen at the end though, right? So what happens? I don't know if it's going to be the same for this season, but if there's a traitor there in the end, they take all the money no matter what. So if the final two people is Stephanie and Cirie, Stephanie will be like, "Oh my god, we won this," and Cirie will be like, "Yeah, we did," and then it would be revealed that Stephanie lost.
I mean, I would love that though, but I know a lot of people aren't really fans of Stephanie. I don't mind her. I think that she's very smart. I think Stephanie's a very smart girl.
Did you watch Snake in the Grass though? She's not good on that.
Oh, I didn't. I only watched like a little bit of it. I didn't watch the full episode. Was she bad in it?
Yeah, she was awful.
I mean, it's been out for a while, so we can spoil for Snake in the Grass. Wasn't she the snake?
Well, she reveals it in the first like 10 minutes. So
Oh, really?
She's that bad. They knew that she was a snake from the beginning. So it wasn't good. It was fun because like I liked them all, but it wasn't good.
I don't know. I like watching her on TV again. It's fun. It's someone that
she's okay. I liked her better than her first season. She's okay now. Like I don't. When she came back, she didn't pop as much as like I was rooting for her before, and so from that point forward, I just haven't been that excited about her. But of course, like I enjoy seeing some Survivor people that I have like a bit of a history with on my screen. Like, but I'm upset. Like I watch Summer House and Winter House, so like I love seeing Kyle on this.
I love all the Bravo people. Like, can they just do 10 Bravo people next season? Like, please, like Bravo people are so much more fun and are there just for fun. They're there to have a good time. Like for sure. Let's have Lindsay on next season. Ask people to make her sandwiches.
Oh my
Okay,
god, Lindsay would be
let's
such a
go.
I mean, Lindsay would be fabulous. She's another Leo. That would be a fun crew. It's like it would basically be like Bravo plays Mafia.
I would,
Bravo plays the Traitors.
I would live for it. I would live.
It'd be actually quite excellent, especially since I watch majority of Bravo shows. So
Oh, for sure.
I would enjoy it. So Kyle also tells Andy that what he thinks about Kyle and what Kyle said. And now Andy is suspecting Kyle. And I'm like, Andy, get a better read. Come on, please.
Andy's reads are so bad. You think Quinton's are bad? Andy's are like 10 times worse than Quinton's.
Well,
Andy's
and I
not a
think is
place.
Andy doesn't like playing the game as well, so that's also frustrating. I mean, I'm not sure how these people were cast and recruited because I don't know if they picked people that enjoy these social deduction strategy games, and it doesn't seem as though Andy, for the most part, really enjoys this type of game format. They say that their head is hurting and they don't like what's going on here, and they don't want to be thinking this much, and that's frustrating because that's what it's all about is mind manipulation and strategy.
Yeah, Andy. I like having Andy there, but I don't know. I don't like the noobs. I don't like the newbies. I don't.
Yeah, they're kind of boring in
There's that
general.
one girl who cries all the time. Like why?
Yeah, I mean, she was probably cast because of her accent. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I watched Rob has a podcast. He's doing like a 2-day marathon of this show.
I know
Um,
that. Yeah.
And so they were saying, somebody said in the comments, I don't know if it's true or not, that Angelica, the girl that cries all the time from, I don't know, Long Island or where, Staten Island, wherever, she is Tommy Bracco's cousin. So I don't know if that's been truth, like if that's truthful, or if they're just like saying that because they're from a similar area and, whatever. But that's a thing, possibly.
I could see it.
That could be why she got cast, if that's true.
That could definitely make sense. But yeah.
She's a bore. She's a bore. She's a bore.
Not necessarily boring. She's just annoying.
I mean, for the show, she's a bore. She might not be a boring human being, but
special. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to what she has to say. I'm not looking forward to what she's bringing to the table. So to be on this show, that's boring. But I'm sure she's a fine hairdresser.
Oh, you're so funny.
So she's chatty. So Rachel walks into the room. Kate is there, and Kate immediately gets up and leaves. Now, I understand where Kate is coming from. She's being a bit of a mean girl about it, absolutely, considering she's a grown adult. But I remember when Rachel first was on Big Brother, her first 2 seasons, she grated on my nerves.
That's
Even when she won, I was like, oh my God, she's so insufferable. And over the year, it took me like 15 years to like be able to tolerate Rachel. So
that's her. That's Rachel. That's how she's always been. She's almost 40 now. She is exactly the same person. That is her. That is just who she is. So you either like her and understand who she is and know she's going to be obnoxious, and that's just who she is, which I love. I love Rachel Riley. Or you're going to be annoyed and not be able to stand her. You either love her or you hate her. It's one of the two.
Absolutely. And Kate is on the hate side of things big time. So Kate gets up, leaves her there. While she's gone, Quinton is convinced that it's Kyle, and he's saying this to Andy and Amanda. And I'm like, Quinton says things with such confidence, conviction, assuredness. Like he says it like he is a lawyer and he knows that he knows the truth. And he's so wrong. We're like, it's not Kyle. It's not anybody that you think it is, because you're always wrong, Quinton. But you say it very well, and you're very believable.
Did I say earlier that I liked? Maybe I was so off on that. I actually can't stand him, and the reason for this is because he shouldn't have been cast. Like, I'm sorry, he should not have been cast. He is the reason solely why. Maybe not have been. He's fun being cast, but he is the reason why they have up until this point not found a traitor, because he has such a strong, bold personality, and what he says, people usually listen to. He's
Because
a
it's reasonable. I mean, I feel like I like that he's cast because it's really hilarious that he's so wrong and strong. Wrong and strong and
young and
wrong.
strong. Yes, that's correct. Yes,
Just like he says it like with conviction and he's wrong. It's great. So I think that the fact that he has such bad reads, you need to have people like that on the show, or the show doesn't work. If you're able to catch a traitor in a second, it doesn't. The show doesn't work.
right.
So you need to have people that are gullible and then also very influential.
Yes, exactly.
So Kate returns and Rachel kind of confronts Kate, and Sari is looking on as like, I might use this between these two people that are like kind of butting heads here. And Kate's just like, yeah, I don't really like you. I don't know if this is the moment when she's like, oh no, I think it was later on, but she says later on, I don't like the decision you made with that outfit. And then she's like, well, I don't like that vest that you're wearing. And she's like, oh, well, sorry, like Princess Diana wore it.
Kate is my favorite person on the planet. I love her. I don't even get. She is so funny.
She's really funny.
A
Her
riot.
one-liners are all on point. I've always really liked Kate, and I prefer Kate's personality over. I'm sorry, Rachel, over Rachel's.
Oh, a
Um,
hundred percent, 100%. I like Rachel too, but Kate is Kate is that girl. Like,
Kate, I would hang out with. Rachel, I would hang out with, but I would be like, oh, I wish I was at Kate's table.
yeah, exactly.
Kate is, yeah, I'd want to hang out with Kate more, to be honest.
She's the
So
moment.
in the car, oh my god, was a really interesting moment, or funny and like awkward. Rachel's in the car with Shelby and Angelica, saying that she thinks that Kate's a traitor and how much she's annoyed with Kate. And then Kate was on a roll in this car. So in the car is Andy, Ari, and Sari. And she's like, what's up, honesty, Rachel? And I was like, oh my God. She's like, you look like got dressed at a community theater. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, you had the first peek with the baby. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And like, they were just like dying of laughter. And I wonder what else she might have said, like that they didn't air. But I was
You
like,
know it got bad. You know it got bad. You know
it must have been bad if this is
oh,
what they let air.
the community theater.
Man. And they were just cackling in the car. Like, that's what Kate is funny. Like, I know it's mean, but like, it's really funny.
She's just like Brandy. She's like Brandy 2.0. I was like, okay, Brandy left, but I'm like, Kate's still there. Okay, so we still have half of a Brandy.
I mean, I think Kate is funnier than Brandy, personally.
I see. I wasn't. Kate was the only one I wasn't too familiar with because I've watched some seasons of Below Deck.
Oh, I've watched them all.
So I didn't see the ones that she was on. But is this how she is on Below Deck? Because that would be amazing.
She's the chief stew. So she's the chief stew. Her and Captain Lee are like thick as thieves, and like she hates all the bosuns.
Okay, I need to watch the past season.
Yeah, or she hates like some of her crew members, and she's just like, she's got to go. She's just like, she just like,
I need to watch more Kate. So
yeah, no, she's pretty. She's not as like mean, we'll say, because she is in a managerial position. So she's a little bit more professional, but her standards are really high, and she's like pretty like, if you like what's wrong with you if you don't know how to do things at her standard. So she does butt heads with some of the less experienced stews.
yeah, I think she's fun. I'm happy that she's on this. I'm like, I've been missing out on this girl. Like I knew Kyle, I know Reza, obviously I knew Brandy, but I was like, who is this Kate girl?
Kate's
like,
great.
Yeah, work.
So we get to a church for the mission today, and Alan is obviously there, and there are all the masked guests. What did you think about the reveal when they all turned their heads to look at them?
It was, I'd be frightened. That's a lot. That's a lot of like, what's that movie with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise? Eyes Wide Shut. Give me that vibe. I'm like, all right.
So what, do you think it's going to be a sex party after?
No, it's not going to be a sex party after. Okay. But I mean, like the masks or whatever. You know what I mean? That's a thing. Like a little sequester maybe there with the no. They use that mask on sequester back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it was I liked the challenge. We'll get into it. If I saw that, I'd be like, oh, here we go. That would be.
I mean, I you can see that Rachel was super excited. Like she's just like pretty giddy. Some people were scared. Some people were excited. I think the gamers were excited. Like I would love the production of this, and I just be like, this is so fun, like wild.
It's a
Um,
fun
so
challenge.
pardon.
It's a fun challenge. I like it.
So it's going to be a memorial for their fallen comrades, and so that is going to allow them to garner $20,000 if they are to get these 4 riddles right, basically. So they are basically already split into 2 teams, and the universe loves us because they put Kate and Rachel on the same team. And basically, what they have to do is they go visit Alan inside the pew. They get a paragraph and a line, and that line is going to be their limerick to be able to find out what item that they're supposed to get from one of the people that are sitting in the concession. I don't know, audience. I don't. So I thought that this was a really fun challenge. How are you with like riddles and solving little limericks type things? And how do you think this went?
I definitely would have been placed on the Rachel and Kate team because that with the 0 points. So that's all riddles. Can't solve them. My brain just does not function with puzzles and riddles. Cannot do it. It just does not process. I'm like a 0 on puzzles and riddles.
Really?
Like it would say something about the moon and stars, and I think they were talking about a plate of spaghetti. Like I can't do it. So it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch one team just like do amazing and the other team just like flop hard.
And Rachel is another person that goes wrong and strong. And every time that she went wrong, Kate just like rolled her eyes hard.
It's like Rachel is just very irrational. She's like a boulder. Like she's kind of like a bull. Like she sees red and she charges, and she always charges in the wrong direction of where she should. It's like when she targeted Monet and Kristen when she was HOH. Like because Monet and Kristen are such big threats to your game, Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel, she's as much as she's a reality star, she's not necessarily that strategic. She's good at competitions because she tries really hard, but I don't think of her necessarily as a super strategic person, but she just a lot of effort in what she does, so she won't stop until she maybe figures something out. But she's not good at like finessing the room and like having people come on her side. Like she's just a little bit like, listen to me, I'm right, even
she
if
has
she's
the
wrong.
heart and she has the passion, and that's the thing about her. And I love to watch. She's fun to watch, honestly.
But I really, it makes me cringe though, her battling with Kate, because I'm just like, oh my god, it's just,
Yeah,
I
because
feel bad.
we are Team Kate, though. I think we're both Team
I'm
Kate.
TK for sure. 100%.
Definitely.
So team number 1 basically wins the entire challenge before team number 2, which is Rachel's and Kate's team, get any correct. Andy is on Rachel and Kate's team, and they are like, oh my goodness, I'm super competitive and I hate losing, and they're on the losing team. So Cerie's team, so Cerie was not on that team, and they won all the money. Now I'm wondering if there were some things that were left out here, because it I think this is not really a spoiler. I don't think anybody cares that much. But in the UK version, they did this same challenge, and the winning team also had the opportunity to go into the armory to see if they could win a murder exemption.
Okay.
So that was the purpose of them being in 2 teams. I didn't see the purpose of them being in 2 teams in this season. It just made no sense.
I really can't comment on this because that could be spoiling future episodes if we get to that.
Potentially, but I'm just like, I'm saying that that's what happened on.
I'm just wondering. Up until now, has there not been a murder exemption or what they call a
No.
shield? It hasn't happened. Okay.
But in the UK version, this task was the first time the shield was introduced
Yeah.
to the winning team being able to go into the armory to grab a shield. So that sorry if you're gonna watch the UK, and that's I don't think it's that big deal of a spoiler, but that's why they were split into two teams in the UK.
Keep watching.
So go ahead.
Keep watching. That's what
Yeah,
I.
exactly. Keep watching. So Rachel trusts Christian. Is that true?
Rachel trusts Christian.
I wrote that, but do I mean
No, no, she does not.
I wrote that, but maybe I meant to write doesn't trust. I don't remember right
I
now.
don't think. I don't think she does. I think she finds him. I think she made a comment about that he was. I could be wrong, but I think she made a comment about how he's like so like obnoxious or something. I think she said.
Well, whatever she was saying this to Quentin and Suri. I don't remember because I also have episode 6 in my head, so I don't remember
Yeah.
what happened right here. Suri tells Kyle though, which I thought was a good thing for Suri to do, that people think that he may be a traitor, and Kyle didn't take this as an opportunity to let Suri know more information. Now, we don't know what Suri is going to do with this information. We know that Suri is a traitor, obviously, and I know that he's wary of people because there are traitors among us. And he has at one point thought that Suri potentially could be a traitor. So him keeping his cards close to his vest, it makes sense. But if you are trying to get people on your side, you kind of have to be a little bit more transparent.
Correct.
So I thought that he shouldn't have been so coy, and maybe have given Suri a little bit more information. So Suri, regardless of whether she's a traitor or a faithful, is going to know that you trust her.
Right. I would have given her all the information. I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest move. I would have said this is what's going on, even if I knew she was a traitor, because it's Suri. And you're right. Suri knows if Suri wants to work with people that Suri can manipulate.
Yeah.
If Suri can manipulate you, she's going to keep you around. So if you tell Suri that, let her think you can trust her, she will keep you around. That's how she works.
100%. 100%. So yeah, that is really, I think, where Kyle may have slipped up here, even though he has the right read and he has good information.
Mhm.
I think he needed to be completely honest if he's trying to get people to rally the troops here. So Kyle is telling Kate that he's a faithful and that he is going to push Cody. And that's another thing that's frustrating, is that Kate doesn't think that Cody is a traitor. She's just so, I don't think she even thinks that Rachel's a traitor. I think she's just saying that because she just wants Rachel to be banished. But like, I wish that she was working with Kyle a little bit more here, so that like she might enjoy the game more. She might enjoy being there more if she started strategizing and was like really catching a traitor. But not yet. Oh shoot! So Kyle fully trusts Andy there. Sorry, and tells her that it's Cody. So I got it a little bit out of order,
Yeah.
but we know that they really didn't take. They thought that it was more suspect that Kyle was telling them this at that point.
Yeah, but Andy and him seem to have like a very genuine conversation. That's why I was really confused when we get to the ceremony, like the whatever the debate, banishment debate or whatnot that they have. Um, he seemed very genuine to Andy. I don't get how Andy didn't see that. I don't get it. I don't get it. What's with Andy's, what's going through their brain right now, because seemed so genuine when he was talking to them.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like if Kyle thinks that he has a really good connection with Andy and coming to them with this information and is acting a little bit different because he received new information, that he's like, I don't know what to do with this. I need to tell you, like, I need to tell someone that I trust. That is him acting differently. So I would have taken it as it must be truth. Like he must be spooked because he's gotten some new information that they didn't have before.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised by their read.
Yeah.
Super surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not because that's how Andy reads. So.
But you know, like this in this situation. So I wrote here, I'm like, oh my god, is Cody getting banished? Oh my goodness. All Angelica wants is for a traitor to be banished. I was hoping that this was foreshadowing. I'm not a Cody fan, and I would love to see him banished. And I feel that he may get banished for the fact that he doesn't seem that happy in his press interviews about the show. Like, he doesn't seem like, oh my god, so you got to see like such a cool concept. Like, it seems like he might be embarrassed by how he does.
You'll see.
So the prize pot at this point is $114,900. And so I thought it was also funny when Alan was like, I'll just make it an even 115. Like,
Is he the host in the UK as well, or is it someone else?
someone else, yeah.
Okay, someone else does it. Okay.
The host in the UK, I love Alan, but is absolutely fantastic.
Love
like
that.
fantastic. So Andy starts this conversation at the banishment ceremony and is really suspect of Kyle. And then Kyle lays it all out, lays exactly what Cody did. And Cody starts defending himself. I'm like, Cody, you're not good at defending yourself. Like, you look really guilty to me. You must be looking guilty to them. I can't even believe that he thinks he's going to get away with this. So he's pissed that, like, Kyle made such a buffoon error by, like, saying this. Like, you just have to not do too much, because the people are looking for any reason to have you banished. And so you saying this was so bad, Cody. Cody's not good at defending himself. It's really uncomfortable. Stephanie also pipes in and thinks that Cody is acting how she would act if she was a traitor, and it's not believable.
That is, I think, what could do Cody in, is because Stephanie and him come from similar areas. They're very similar people. Like, if you think about it, if Stephanie doesn't get her way, she has a pouty pout. She's that really super competitive, like beast. Like, Stephanie is is a boy's girl. We know this. So like Cody and Stephanie are the same person. So Stephanie figuring him out kind of screws Cody, I think.
Yeah. Ari doesn't believe that Kate's a traitor. I mean, nobody should believe that Kate's a traitor. If Kate's a traitor, like, what a bad job. like why would you act like that if you're a traitor? It just doesn't make any sense. Zero sense.
I love it.
At this point, I was like, I want Cody gone. I did. I just wanted him gone. I wanted them to catch a traitor. I wanted them to be shocked. I just need them to have a shocked face right now over them being a traitor. So the vote comes. Cody votes Kyle, Shelby, Kyle, Angelica, Kyle, Stephanie, Kate, Kyle, Kate, Rachel, Kate, Quentin, Kyle, Sari, Kyle, Amanda, Kate. I'm like, Amanda. I'm like, who's Amanda? I'm like, we'll find out why I don't remember who she is. Kate, Kyle, Andy, Kyle, Ari, Kyle, and Christian. Who did Christian vote for?
Christian
Must have been Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
And so Kyle does go up there and he says, you guys, you got played. I'm a faithful. And they're like,
they're so dumb.
Like, oh my god, oh my gosh.
It's like telenovela reactions.
I mean, but it would be shocking because, like, people are so easily convinced for somebody that's completely wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I played Mafia, Secret H, Werewolf, maybe some Among Us, other social deduction games, and I've never been as wrong as these guys are. Like, it's just so much easier to suss these people out. Cody at this point looks terrified. Like, he does not look like his normal self. Him being a traitor, he just looks scared. Like, I don't know why people aren't picking this up on him. I guess they don't know him that well, but he does not look like a faithful.
Not at
So
all. He's so sus. How have people not figured him out yet? Like him
I
and
don't know.
Christian are both so sus. Like
And then after he's trying to do some damage control and like he's telling people like, oh, now I'm suspect of I don't even know who he said. I didn't write it down, but like he's like, oh, Rachel probably. And I was like, what? Like this Cody. You're just not good. So Stephanie tells Ari and Quentin that she has been on to Cody since day one, but she didn't want to get murdered. So I'm like, interesting, interesting, interesting.
interesting. They didn't show it on the show, did they?
No, they didn't show her saying that or thinking that. But that's the strategy, right? Is to keep who you really think is a traitor to yourself, so you
Yeah,
don't get murdered.
yeah. Now that
It's
it's coming out, now she can say it. So
exactly, and she can maybe because like if you're gonna say somebody is a traitor, you have to get them out, or if they are and you don't, they could murder you or set you up to be banished.
exactly. Yeah.
We learned that Amanda has to leave the game
Who?
for the ER nurse.
I'm kidding. Joking. I'm
The ER nurse. So the traders have their meeting, and we see Cody explaining himself, and we hear a knock, knock, knock on the door. So, what did you think was the knock, knock, knock on the door? What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I'm sure you've seen the knock, knock, knock on the door before, but I have not seen it.
So, what did
So
you think was going to happen?
maybe it was a contestant. I don't know. I was thinking it would be the host. I was thinking hosty, but
Well, it was the host. It was Alan, and he has a little twist for them. So they're going to be choosing 3 players to put on trial as opposed to having a murder that night. One of the 3 people on trial will be murdered by the traitors, and the rest of the game will be played. Just the banishments and all that stuff will still happen as accordingly. But one of those 3 people on trial will be murdered. So they choose Kate, Angelica, and Rachel to be the 3 players on trial. What do you think of their decision here for these 3?
firstly, I'm so excited to talk about the next episode because so many funny things happen in episode 6. I cannot even tell you. But the fact that that choosing of Kate, Rachel, and what's her name, Angelica, the 3 of them, perfect. You have all emotional players. You have Kate, who's going to be like, just send me home, whatever. You have Rachel Riley, who's going to be like on a witch hunt, like losing her everything over this. And then you have Angelica, who's going to be crying hysterically. It was perfect. Great television. Great choices.
So I thought it was really interesting to learn that Andy feels that Suri is like family to them. And that was very interesting because we haven't really seen much of Andy's perspective on how they feel about people in the game. We just
Yeah.
learned obviously that they lost trust in Kyle, but has so much trust in Suri. So I thought that this was very interesting to learn that Andy thinks that Suri is like family to them. So I'm wondering if that's going to come into play later on because why would we get that soundbite, So
Exactly.
no one got murdered in the breakfast. So everybody comes into the room. And then Alan brings 3 love letters from the traitors and gives it to Kate, Angelica, and Rachel. And Angelica starts crying. I'm a faithful. I'm a faithful. Faithful. Why? Like they know you're a faithful. That's why they're doing this. So Suri says to Ari that she doesn't think that Kate is a traitor, which I think she wants to have Kate stay in the game, and I think she should want Kate to stay in the game because she just causes so much distraction. And the more people are talking about Kate and Rachel, the more that they're not getting a right read on everybody else in the house.
Well, little note gate helped Kate, I guess, then with the little note that her and Brandy with the X's on the name that I guess helps Kate at the end of the day.
How could anybody think that that's like evidence for anything?
First of all, I just think it's funny that people are so gung ho that Kate is a traitor. I mean, like, come on.
I know. So Kate, though, is done helping traders win money. And so, I mean, it's a fact. Like, this shows to me also, like, Kate is not a trader because she's like, I'm not helping these traders win money. We're all such buffoons here that we can't figure out who a trader is. So I'm not helping them win any money anymore. And I understand where she's coming from. And she's been in the hot seat for weeks now. Like, since the very beginning, people have just been targeting her, and that doesn't feel great. Like, as much as Kate is strong and like is willing to defend herself and has these quick one-liners, like, it doesn't feel great that people think that you're lying, especially when you're telling the truth. And so I can understand why she could be kind of fed up right now, because she doesn't really have any friends. Reza and Brandy have been gone for a long time now, and she's just stuck with people that she doesn't like, and she's helping people win money for traders that she doesn't think they're going to catch. Like, I think I get it. She's just having a bit of a meltdown.
I can tell you though, it's so much fun to watch the Kate meltdown.
I mean, bring it on. That's why she was cast. So Stephanie brings it to Quentin, Suri, and Christian and others. So I think that that's about the fact that she suspects Cody. I think that that's what she brings to them. And I think that this is a good route. I think that Stephanie should be pushing this at this point. We get to the mission. They're going to turn hard liquor to hard cash, where they also have armory barrels that they're able to win as well. And so if you have an armory barrel, that means that the person can get a pass to go and see if they can get a shield.
Oh.
And so, so one person will win a shield from this mission, and also they're able to bank a lot of money. So they're rolling these super heavy barrels, and as along the way, the number increases, and they're like, they can choose if they want to keep like the 5,000 barrel and the 2 armories, or they can want to go for the $10,000 barrel, but it's heavier and bigger. So I thought this was an interesting challenge. How do you feel about it, seeing it?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought everyone that was put up for potential murdering did what I thought they would do. You have Rachel gung-ho going for the armor. You have Kate doing what Kate did, which is a very on her personality to be like, screw this. I don't want to hold this. Bye.
Yeah, she wanted to be carried, and she doesn't want to push the barrel. She does end up carrying some of these $1,000, or was it 1,000? These smaller $600 smaller barrels. And then at one point she's like, why am I carrying these barrels? She just starts throwing them away. She's like, I'm not helping them win any money.
And Rachel. I think it was Stephanie.
Say again?
I think it was Stephanie that called her out after she was throwing the barrels.
I mean, Stephanie's always into like, let's win money and be win. So it's on brand for Stephanie to call her out. So yes, Stephanie wants to push the armory pass for Rachel. So she's such a team player. Kate is just there to fuck shit up. She's just like, I'm throwing this barrel. Like, I don't care. Like, it's gone. In the end, though, they do manage to get $16,800. And Kate's just like, oh, I was confused. I didn't realize that I didn't carry any barrels. And 3 people are going to get to have the armory pass. So Ari ends up saying that he wants to go into the armory to see if he can get the shield, as well as obviously Angelica and Rachel are the other 2 people out of the 3 barrels that they were able to push to the finish line. Kate wants them to banish Rachel and murder her. Let me be murdered then. I mean, I guess when you're murdered, you know that you're a faithful. And I think she just wants to have Rachel be banished in front of her, which is also hilarious. Quentin makes a good point about Kate being a potential liability, and so maybe banishing Kate just for the fact that she's not helping making money for the pot, which is a good point.
I think that's what I would want it to, but at the same time, if you're the traders, you want to keep Kate because Kate is a shield for them, but some people are like, she's ruining the money, but I don't know.
So Christian is agreeing with Steph about Cody, and I was like, oh, if he's starting to like agree about this, and like Cody's just really, really in a bad position. I think that Christian is ready to give up his boy. We see the armory, and Angelica goes in first. She picks the center box, and she gets nothing. Rachel also does not get the shield, but Ari, the person that does not need the shield, gets the shield. But he's using it very strategically. He's saying that, like, hey, we won't tell the traitors who has it, so it'll be a little bit more challenging for them to murder.
Are you allowed to pass the shield to someone?
No, but they're just would probably be like, well, we don't know who has the shield, so let's just murder Kate.
Got
Right?
it. Smart.
So that I thought was pretty smart. We see Cody rationalizing with Quentin. I'm like, oh, just Cody, stop. Cody, stop. I mean, Quentin is the person to get on your side here, but he's just looks so guilty when he does anything. His gut says Rachel. I'm like, Cody, stop like saying what your gut says. And because Quentin's like, go with your gut.
Cody is a spiral right now. He is a toilet going down the spiral.
Well, as soon as they find out that it's not Rachel, Cody's gonna look bad, even worse, you know. But Quentin trusts Cody. And I just wrote down he has a lot of bad reads.
Oh, another bad read. Another bad
reads. Oh, I trust Cody.
How could he not think that Cody is? It's insane. It's absolutely
so suspicious.
Really bad reads, Quentin.
So Christian goes outside to tell Cirie that he's planning to vote Cody. And I was like, if the liability is saying that Cody's a liability, you know you taint your game, Cody.
Yeah.
like Christian looks like he's playing a Cirie level game right now compared to what Cody's doing.
No, he's just under Cirie's spell because Cirie knows how to spin people around her little finger. Cirie's a mastermind.
So we get to the banishment ceremony, and everybody is saying, you know, Cody. But I'm thinking this probably is a red herring, that Cody's not going to be going. And they are kind of like, Cirie says, like, well, I don't think it's Rachel. And I don't think it's Kate. And then they're like, who do you think it is?
Yeah, Cody asked her, he's like, so who do you think it is, Cirie?
Well, Cody's pushing Rachel though, and I'm like, is Cirie going to out Cody at this point, or is she going to be like, I don't know who it is right now? Like, I think that if she doesn't out Cody right now, it could be bad for her game. She might be able to rationalize it without specifically saying Cody's name. So being like, I don't think it's Kate. I don't think it's Rachel. I trust Stephanie, and I've always trusted Stephanie in this game. And I feel like I need to go with what Stephanie is saying here because I trust Stephanie. And if Stephanie has this really strong feeling, and some of you also have a strong feeling about somebody else, I may have to go with that person.
Absolutely.
So right now we do have a cliffhanger. This is a really big cliffhanger. I was like, I need to go and talk about this right away so I could go watch episode 7. They have $131,000 in the pot. And Kate really doesn't really like this game, and she hates everybody and hates the game and hates the lying and hates that everybody is lying to her face and making her look like she's a liar. But she doesn't leave. I'm happy that she doesn't quit. So thanks for not quitting, Kate. Thanks for the cliffhanger, Traitors. So we will join back together again to find out who Cirie says and who gets banished. Yeesh.
Oh.
So that is those 2 episodes. Is there anything else that happened in episode 5 and 6 that you want to talk about that we haven't yet?
Honestly, I just loved episode 6 because Kate was such a mess and it was so much fun to watch her. I love Kate. That's going into it. That's my thing. I know Kate is probably not going to win this game, but she's so much fun to have around. And so
I can see you're getting to the end and just being completely bamboozled.
Absolutely. But that Cirie is one of the smartest people that have ever been in a reality show. And you know, they've always said Survivor players are Big Brother who are better strategists. Survivor players all the way are better strategists than Big Brother.
I don't know if I agree with that. Just because for Survivor, I feel like, especially nowadays, it's pretty much just a numbers game. And so you have to just be part of the large, like the majority group. And so there's less of like, there's less strategy, I find, in Survivor.
But that Cirie though is
Cirie is a different person. Like it's like she's an anomaly. I do think that she she wanted to be the snake on snake in the grass. I think that she's really great at bringing people in, as you've mentioned. She's like, especially somebody that she can manipulate and control. And people just don't want to suspect her. And so, yeah, she's great. But I also don't think that Cody's on the same level of player in general as Cerise. So if we're comparing Big Brother to Survivor, I don't think that Cody is the best person to
Cody's
represent Big
the
Brother.
sidekick that did win an all-star season. He's the sidekick. He is the woo to Tony. Like Derek was the mastermind, and Cody was the sidekick. And Cody was on the all-star season, but I do think that he had a lot of allies through his friends.
He got fed that first head of household that allowed him to set up the structure to be able to win the whole game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never really thought that Cody was that great of a player. He's better than a lot of people. Like, he has got to the final 2 twice, so I have to give him that he's capable of doing that. But I don't think he's a master strategist like Suri is.
He's not in my top 10.
No way, not even close. So. Well, that is it for episodes 5 and 6 recap here. Thank you, Josh, for coming and joining me. Do you have anything going on that you would like to share with the peoples?
Yes, we have a few things on our channel. Firstly, follow us on Twitter, Couch Potato Queens, Couch Potato QWNZ, where I'm usually tweeting up a storm right now about Housewives, RuPaul's Drag Race. We are the Drag Race fanatics. We are going live tonight. We go every Friday right after the episode of Drag Race at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's the time to watch us. It's actually hosted by V and myself, and we have other guests every week. So definitely a fun time. Come watch us. We're joy.
I'm really sad that Irene
first food Irene. That
was brutal. I have her on my draft, and I was like, what? I was really interested to see what she had to bring, and I was hopefully I didn't spoil that for anybody, but it happened last week.
It's been a week. But I will tell you, I really hope Mistress is our first big girl to win.
I mean, I really like Mistress. I like Mistress and Irene together, and their little banter.
I know who you like. Miss Duckwalk herself, Anitra. Everybody loves Anitra.
I thought she was amazing, and I'd seen her performance before the episode. It was on YouTube, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I thought her performance was really amazing. I thought it was so good, but I don't know if I think that was a great show, but I don't know if she's going to be a winner. I don't know if she's going to be able to translate that into Snatch Game and translate it into these funny I just don't know it, but that was an excellent talent show. Absolutely.
We'll see what happens.
Awesome. And you guys know the drill, but make sure you subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's, like this video, and let us know, as long as you don't know what actually happens in episode 7, who do you think that Suri is going to say in this position, if anything? And do you think that she should get rid of a traitor at this time? Should she allow Cody to go? What are your thoughts? What do you think that Suri should do? What would Suri do in this moment? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I think going into it, as of what I'm saying, I'm not revealing other episodes. I would think that Suri knows how to play for Suri at the end of the day. So a selfish player on that end would cut them. That's what I think.
Let's see what's happening. So we'll see you soon for episode 7 and 8. Thank you, everybody, and see ya.